how's everyone doing this fine Sunday? We actually got a break in our storm. Had snow on the mountain hills this morning, which it looks like this storm's going to be cold too. Even SoCal here got snow, which is very rare. So, and everyone in Central and East Side is coming your way. But enough of that. Okay, so today got a couple things I'm gonna talk about. First off is I got notes here. Higonokami. Now higonokami is this little guy right here. A couple of you may have seen it on live. I showed it. It is a traditional Japanese pocket knife. Okay. Now my lighting kind of sucks here. It is a tempered line on the edge. And this thing is a really cool knife. It is a carbon-based blade though. Now, I'll see if I can't get that in there. You can kind of see right at the base of it, it's got an engraving. That's the smith. All of them have the smith's name engraved on the blade. Now, this is a friction knife, so there's no safety lock. Your safety lock is this thumb stud right here. And this is one whole piece. It's not welded to the blade. It's forged that way. All these blades are forged. And let me see if I can't roll it. There you go. There's a better view right there of it. You can see it's all one piece, which is kind of cool. So the way you use these is your thumb stays back here. Okay. You use it to cut. You could, I wouldn't try it like that, obviously, because it might slip, but it's a nice little knife. It has actually a little bit of a curvature to it too. Now, this is what you call, and I'm going to try my best to pronounce this, because I didn't use Google Translate, unfortunately, for this. Awari kumai, which means sandwich. So this has two different types of metal in it, kind of like katana. The edge is hard with both sides being soft. Okay, so you can say it's a laminated blade, what people will call laminated. And then this might be hard to see. There's imitations of these out there. And let me get kind of into it. These were developed, let me see here from my notes, in 1896 is when they first started, and they still look the same. This is what they looked like back in 1896. Kamamoto ro Kamataro Nagao, if I'm pronouncing that right, I could have messed it all up, is the founder of these. Okay. He started up Hitari Knife about 100 years ago in Miki, the city of Miki. It's in the Higo prefecture of Japan. So during that time during the Great Restoration, there was a lot of outlawing of knives and things like that, especially like katanas and things. Well, he wanted to make a knife that could be used every day, you know, simple little pocket knife. So as the years went on, he was able to talk to the government and, you know, like, it's just a pocket knife. You know, something that people can use every day. And they said, yeah, you know, it's kind of dumb that we're not letting people have, you know, knives and whatnot. So they were like, go ahead. make them. So he came up with a simple design. They're infamous for the thumb stud. Little thumb stud right here. They're infamous for that. It's just simple carbon-based steel with a brass handle. That's it. And they do make bigger versions of these. I think the blade is like that long. So they do have a little bit longer ones. And they also have ones where it's a wooden handle, which is kind of cool. I'd like to get one of the wooden ones because they have rosewood and all kinds of stuff. But it's just put together. When it's closed, you can kind of see it's just sandwiched in there. Okay. And then it's got just a simple rivet on the back. That's all it's got to hold it all together. And then, you know, for people who like lanyards, it's got a lanyard hold. So the design hasn't changed in over 100 years. Now, when he started making these, of course, like I said, there were people who were doing imitations. So they went to the government and they filed for a patent on these. Now, sometimes some patents are limited. Sometimes patents can be for a lifetime. So they wanted to make sure they specified in their patent that they are the only ones that can use the name higonokami. Okay, and the way you know, and I don't know if it's going to pick it up. I'm going to try to because my lighting sucks. You can kind of see engravings on the handle there. Okay. There we go. It's a little bit better. So those engravings, what it says, I know it's in Japanese, I had to Google translate it, is that's a certification saying this is a certified higonokami. So that's how you can tell if you have a real one. And then the other really cool thing, and people believe that these won't be around for very long because a lot of people aren't going into the field of making these because they have a knife makers guild at the knife company. So it's not like you just walk in and go, hey, I want to make your knives. You know, you have to be a part of the guild to make one of these. What that process entangles, I don't know. I didn't look into it. It's just what I found online for it. But they're a really cool little knife. They're pretty simple to open. You know, you can do it one-handed. It's kind of tricky, but you can. But it's a nice little knife. It's sharp too, and it's easy to sharpen. That's the nice thing. It's real easy to sharpen this knife since it's a carbon base. And they do have, they started making stainless steel blades too. This one ran about $20 for it. You can't find, like on Amazon, that's where I got it. Amazon carries these. So there's different price ranges. I've seen them as low as $15. And I've found that that's the price range for these. Anywhere from $15 to $30. And it varies on which one you're getting. Obviously, if you're getting the one that has the longer blade on it, it's going to be a little bit more money. You know, I think that's the $30 one. I'm not sure. But they do make, and they're all the same shape. Even the wooden handle ones, they got the thumb stud. They got everything on it. And then they engrave the wood with the certification. So it's a neat little knife that's still being made. I don't think a lot of people know about. I didn't know about it, and I was just perusing one time, and I was like, I don't know what kind of pocket knives they make, and this came up. And I thought it was kind of cool. I carry this on me at work just to open boxes and stuff. Since it is a carbon-based blade, though, you do have to oil it and keep it oiled. So you do have to do that, otherwise it will rust. So you do have to maintain these. Kind of like a katana. You got to maintain it. Another factor I found out, if the rivet here, right there, gets loose, there's a flat part, of course, on there, and then there's a round part on the top. So what you do is you lay it down on a kind of a hard surface. You don't like beat it into, submission here. And they say just tap this top part, this dome part, just tap it a bit with the hammer, and that will tighten everything back up again. So they do have a web page that you can go to, and it gives the history of, their knife, how, you can tighten up the rivet. That's how I learned that. So you just, like I said, gently tap it with a hammer. Don't beat it into submission. But yeah, it's a cool little knife. And it's still being made to this day, for now, because I guess there's not very many in the guild now, right now, from what I understand. So if you're interested in like a little simple, very simple, traditional knife, here you go. Because this is what they call a friction knife. This is what it's called. It's categorized as a friction knife. And your thumb sits really, the thumb stud isn't very big, but it's shaped nicely for your thumb to sit on. And it's comfortable. So, kind of a neat little thing. The handle's not very big, no. So it kind of sits right about there. My pinky doesn't even touch it, but that's okay. I can still use it, and it's still functional. It's not uncomfortable in the hand, even though it's small. So yeah, if you're looking for a cool little traditional knife, there you go. And you get them fairly inexpensively. I paid $20 for this until I found there's other sites that were selling the certified ones for like $15. So you just gotta shop around. I like to try and get their bigger one if I can. I didn't see any on Amazon. Now there are some that are a little bit more expensive. I saw they go up to like $100 or whatever. But they do have the certification, but they're made out of different stuff. They're trying different things, but this is their traditional one right here. So, higonokami. I should have wrote down what it meant, but I didn't. That's on me. Another thing, my wife sent this to me today, which I found really cool. And I think it's something that a lot of us don't do, and it's nobody's fault, and it's a way, they call it the Japanese way to happiness, and it's called ichigo, which translates as once a meeting, and also as in this moment. So what it is, it's like 10 rules, I guess, for them to be happy. Like, don't dwell in the past, and try not to foresee what the future is. Because, well, the past is the past. It no longer exists. What's ever happened there it's done, it's over. You can never change it. when it comes to the future, none of us know what's going to happen in the future because it hasn't happened yet. So it's a mindset to don't get stuck on that. I mean, yes, set goals for yourself in the future to try and work towards those. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't like try and predict what's going to happen and this and that, because it hasn't happened and it can always change because it hasn't happened. So, like, here, I'll read some of the 10 rules. Like, number one is don't postpone special moments. You know, it's basically if something presents itself to you that could be once in a lifetime and you're able to do it. You know, let's say it's somebody has tickets to your favorite band, but yet they can't go, and they go, hey man, would you like to have these? And you would go, well, you know, I was going to go and I was going to do this and that, and turn down the tickets for a band that you really like and you've never gotten to see them live. That's what it's talking about, those opportunities. I mean, if it wasn't like interfering with maybe going to work or something and you were just going to not really do anything, don't turn down those opportunities. You know, that's basically number one. Number two, live as if this were going to be only once in your life. We only get one shot. You know, that's why in Japan it says here they greet and say goodbye to our loved ones with ichigo to make us aware of the unique and once in a lifetime nature of each meeting, because that's true. You can say goodbye, you can see your best friend, aunt, uncle, doesn't mean you're going to see him again. You know, and that's so true. You know, it's like, I'll use an example. When our dad was dying, my brother and my mom called us and said, hey, you better get over there tomorrow morning. It looks like this is going to be the end of him, you know. So my wife and myself drove out to where he was and spent time with him, a good amount of time with him, before we left. And of course my brother showed up and my mom showed up, and we have a sister, and she never showed up the very next day because he did pass that day. We're all, you know, we got together, my brother, my mom, myself, figuring out what the next step's going to be. And my sister showed up and asked, where's dad? And we're like, you got the phone call. We all called you, because we called her too. She missed that time. You know, that's just an example. I'm not trying to be a downer or a bummer. So yeah, you know, if you get the chance, you know, see those people and make sure, you know, you say goodbye or whatever, because you never know. So it's number 3. Dwell in the present. This is what I was talking about, past and future. Journeys into the past and the future are often painful and nearly always useless. You can't change what happened. You can't know what will happen. But here in this moment, all the possibilities in the world are alive. Which is so true, and that's what I was saying. You can't change the past. It's already done. It's happened. Forget about it. If anything, from your past, learn from it. Use those experiences to just better yourself. But don't, like, dwell on them. I know people who dwell on their past all the time. My sister's a good example. Constantly dwelling on her past. All the time. All the time. All the time. And she's a real downer all the time. And she wonders why she doesn't have very many friends. Well, because people don't want to have you bring them down. you know. So yeah, don't dwell on it. I mean, like I said, learn from it. Learn from your experiences. Don't worry about the future neither, unless you want to set goals for that and you're working towards that. Then it's different. So, number 4, do something you've never done before. I mean, most of us haven't done a lot of things in our life, and for good reasons. Either financially, you just couldn't afford it, and I mean, that's a lot of us. Or you're just too scared to learn it, or you think, you're too old to learn it. My thing is, you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to try something. I mean, and try not to be afraid to do it. Now, like me, would I try something like skydiving? No, because I'm not going to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. No, I'm just not. But yeah, I mean, if there's something you've always wanted to try and you can do it, try it. I mean, even if it turns out it's not for you, it's okay. You can at least say you tried. We tried opening a business one time. It just turned out to be a really crappy location. It really did. And a lot of people ask, why are you going to do it? What if it fails? I said, well, it's better that I try than to sit there and go, man, I should have done it. And everyone agreed. That's so true. You never know. Never know. Here's one I need to do a lot more of. Practice seated meditation. And yeah, being able to clear your mind from all the hustle and bustle in our lives can be very beneficial, and actually beneficial health-wise, because you're relieving all that stress from our everyday work life and whatnot. They're actually finding out in studies, meditation has healthy benefits, and that's one of them. It relieves that everyday hustle and bustle stress life, because you're calming your mind down and you're relaxing your body. So it's actually a good thing. So, I mean, give it a shot. Now, there are some people out there who say, I forget what they call it. Oh, you can meditate while you're doing something and this and that. It's some new age crap or whatever. I'm not going to bash it. But I will say this. The whole point of meditation is to clear your mind and to relax your body. If you're doing something, you're not clearing your mind. Your mind is focused on what you're doing. I don't care how much you say you're in control of your thoughts or whatever. You're still mentally, you're focused on what you're doing. It's just our human nature. So I don't buy into that. If you want to meditate, you have to be still. There's a famous Buddhist Thich. Everyone called him Thich. He was Vietnamese. And his famous quote is, stop doing something and sit down. And what he's referring to is meditate, clear your mind. You need to clear your mind. So that's number 5. 7, notice coincidences. Being aware of coincidence helps us get better at reading signs sent by the universe, a journey in which we keep notes of these moments of daily magic will increase our ability to follow the invisible threads of reality. I mean, we all had those coincidental moments. And there's some people who will look at the news and go, well, isn't that coincidental? First off, it's the news. We all know the news does flashy stories and does this and that. I don't give a shit what news outlet it is. They all do it. This is pertaining to you personally. So don't try and use it for other things. This is just, all this is for your personal self. Number 8, make every gathering a party. You know, so basically it's like, if you get with friends or whatever, have fun with them. You know, like it's your birthday or vacation or something like that. Enjoy your time with them. I mean, I could be a downer sometimes too, so I'll admit to that. Number 9, if you don't like what there is, make something different. Human beings are transformative by nature and have the power to reinvent themselves as many times as it takes. If your reality is too dull and predictable to live with ichigo ichie, you have the opportunity to create another, which is true. And number 10, be a hunter of special moments. As with any activity, the more you practice, the better and more abundant the results will be. So that is the 10 things to ichigo ichie for happiness. And there's actually a book on it too. I think Amazon has it. They have a book on, and it's the book of Ichigo Ichie. But my wife found this one. Is from the book. It's like three bullet points, and I'm just going to read one of them, which I found was kind of interesting. A life lesson from the swordsmiths considered natural treasures in Japan is to eliminate the unnecessary to get the essential. That's where beauty and power lie. So with them, because some people say, why do the steel use tagamahani? It's such a crappy steel. It's not really a crappy steel. It's just a high carbon steel. It's a different type. But when you look at tagamahani, it looks like crap. I mean, it's just a clump of just raw metal. And it's actually really heavy. But that's where the beauty comes in when they start forging it into the blades that they do. They're taking all that ugliness and bringing out the beauty and the power of it when they forge it. So yeah, I'm probably going to get the book on that and read up on that a little bit more. I like books like that and whatnot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Enjoyed my little higonokami knife. Stick around, because there will be a cutting video after this, since I had some nice weather yesterday and today. I was able to go out and do a little bit more cutting. Don't know how long it's going to last, but trying to get it in. So we will see you guys all later, and take it easy.